So first of all, I expect it. I know it's going to happen. Second of all, I truly believe that things happen for me and not to me. So when things happen, and they do, I don't care how positive I am, things still happen to me. I don't care. I was a people pleaser for so many years. I just wanted people to love me and approve of me and be proud of me. And I spent so many years, doing crazy things just to get people to approve of me. And now I'm just so different. Now I expect things to happen. I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
Welcome to the Growth Life Podcast, where we celebrate individuals and their stories about moments where they were courageous enough to embrace uncertainty, brave enough to love diversity, and smart enough to realize that they don't know everything. The Growth Life Podcast shares stories of growth in all areas: careers, mindset, relationships, wealth, and health.
All right. Welcome back, listeners. This is the Growth Life Podcast, where we actually talk with people that are really exceptional in this idea of really embracing what it means to live in uncertainty, be okay in uncertainty, and actually embrace the unknowingness and the fear that comes along with growth. And actually being okay not being the smartest person in the room. Realizing that it's really a good thing to be a learner, a student, and to be brave to embrace diversity. So with that, I found, I would say, one of the brightest lights in our community to share with you today. And for anyone who's brand new to this podcast, welcome. We're so happy you're here. For any of our repeat listeners, it's so great to have you back. You're in for a treat. I know I say that with almost every guest I have, and I really, really mean it today, for sure. I always mean it. And it's a little extra special today. So I want to introduce you to Cyndi Walter. Hi, Cyndi.
Hi, Tanya.
I want to read your bio. It's short and sweet, so we'll just give people just a quick idea of what it is you do, and then we'll dive in. I've got some questions I know that it would be fun to truly explore with someone with your mindset and your experience in the business world. So Cyndi is the president and founder of Cynergy, spelled Cynergy. Thought that's important to distinguish there. Incorporated. It's a wellness and mindset solutions company. It's dedicated to helping people become the best versions of themselves. She has 40,000 clients in multiple countries and continues to grow and expand. She's unstoppable. She has also on a personal level, she's been married to Scott for 26 years, great man, and 4 beautiful children. So with that, let's dive in, Cyndi. What an awesome just little background that you gave us a teaser on. We want to know more. That was definitely just a teaser. When we think about growth, and we think about, I said you're just a bright light in our community. A lot of people would say, oh, Cyndi's just really positive. She just doesn't let anything get her down, and she goes after what she wants. And is that kind of just a general statement that somebody can say, well, she's just that way, so let's just kind of put her in that category? I'm just kind of curious how you see that perception of you and how you actually use that, or if that is that a persona that you're conscious of, that you're intentional of, or give us a little background on how I think, generally speaking, people see you.
Sure. And I think people do see me that way, and it's very intentional. It's a choice. I choose to be positive. I choose that in any situation I find good. If I'm dealing with difficult people, I choose to look at what they're good at, what their good qualities are, and not what's bad. It's a conscious decision I make daily, and it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of work to get to this place. I had a very negative childhood, negative upbringing, and it took years of personal development and growth, but it's a conscious decision I make daily to see the good in everyone and every situation. I can find good in anything, even horrible things that happen. I still witness them, I go through them, but somehow I have this ability to be able to see the good in everything.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that you said it was a conscious choice and that it's still something you work on.
Yes.
There's something about, especially the way we teach it, that you're consistently going through growth cycles because, we're put on this earth to grow. We're put on this earth to expand our capabilities to do everything and anything, especially love self and others. And with that, in growing, it's happening whether we're resistant to it or not. And at the same time, when we're doing it intentionally, with growth comes the phase we call deception, which another way of looking at it is resistance. So I would love for you to share a little bit about how you approach that phase of growth and, kind of look at it like, people are struggling. Anyone who's listening to this right now, I don't care where you are in your life, how successful you are, there is some area of your life where you are moving through growth. So I want you to really listen up here, because it doesn't matter if you're super positive and you think, oh, well, this just took the wind out of my sail, or this situation over here is like, totally throwing me off course. All of that's happening for a reason that you've asked for without even realizing it. So with that mindset, how do you approach the deception phase of your growth cycles that clearly continue over and over?
Great question. So first of all, I expect it. I know it's going to happen. Second of all, I truly believe that things happen for me and not to me. So when things happen, and they do, I don't care how positive I am, things still happen to me. I don't care. I was a people pleaser for so many years. I just wanted people to love me and approve of me and be proud of me. And I spent so many years, doing crazy things just to get people to approve of me. And now I'm just so different. Now I expect things to happen. I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I have a following. I have people that do love me and approve of me, but I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I just had something happen to me not too long ago. We were chatting before we started recording this, and it took me out. I lost a day and a half of my life over this. And what I realized is, because of my constant yearning for growth and for constantly being a person that just wants to keep growing and being a student, I'll be a student forever and I'll continually grow. And Rod always says there is no there. I take that to heart. I'll be a student forever. Because of that, I'm able to get through things maybe a little quicker than the average person, because I've gotten myself trained, and I also know when to ask for help. And I know these things are going to be coming at me, and I have to learn how to respond to them and not have a knee-jerk reaction to things. So it's taken a lot. I mean, I can't, I'm 50 now. And I wish I knew, back in my 20s what I know now. It's taken me a long time to get to this place, but I just have viewed growth and personal development has been such a huge priority to me for so long, that it's gotten me to this place where these things are still going to happen. I'm still going to be hit with these curveballs. I know they're coming, but I'm prepared for them, and I'll find the good in them somehow. Like this thing that took me out, I've already found good in it. I've already found good in what's happened, and I'm moving on from it in a healthy, good way. So I guess I'm planned, I'm prepared, I'm ready for them. And I know, right on the other side, we always say on the other side of deception is transformation. And that's where, I want to get through that. And then, my identity will go up. It will just continue to rise.
Beautiful. And you sure are looking good for 50. I'm sure people listening are going to want to know what you're drinking. I love what you were sharing, because you're like, oh, I was out for a day and a half over something that, you would think, gosh, something like that would never impact me. And you were saying something about being human. And I love that you're looking at it now going, gosh, when I was moving through it, it was rough. Now, like, perspective is, what can I learn from it? And that to me is the whole reason why we move through these challenges.
Yeah, and I look at that for everything. When I have a struggle, even if maybe one of my children, they're going through something, every time something happens like that, what can I learn from it? What would I have done differently if I could have? Obviously, I can't change anything. So, what could I do different next time? If this happens again, how can I be better prepared for it? So always take everything as a learning lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like we're teaching or sharing something that's like a new concept, right?
Right.
However, it's so funny how we forget this stuff. And you just need to hear it again, especially if you're moving through some challenges in your life. You need to be reminded of the principles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your business success. I know that you're quick to adapt your approach. You're quick to adapt your mindset and your style. And I think in this day and age, things are changing and moving so quick in the business world in terms of what works and what's successful, and especially in the last couple of years. So when you think about your business success, what are some things you've had? What are some things you've learned? What are some things you've had to, I would say, do different with our current business climate and changes that are going on?
Sure. Well, one big one is the internet. My business is an online business where I have to be constantly changing things and learning more and growing. And I have really come to the point where I learn a lot from younger people, my kids, that younger millennial generation. I'm so open to learning and changing things because, quite honestly, if we do not stay with changing and keeping up on everything with technology, we will be so left behind. So I'm always in a state of learning and being ready for change. And I'm always ready to be flexible and adapt to change. So I try not to get thrown off if things happen. And this is something I've definitely learned from the Growth U community, from our family, is that we really need to be able to go with the flow and be adaptable. And that's not easy for people. That's something that you really have to work on. And again, it's something I've worked on. I can't say, I just had an experience where someone stole my luggage with everything in it. And my husband quickly reminded me that the same thing happened about 20 years ago. And I reacted very differently 20 years ago than I reacted this time. This time I'm like, all right, there was nothing in there that was absolutely priceless. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but maybe whoever took the bag needed it more than I did, and I'm not going to let it ruin my time away from home. And so I handled it so very differently because I've learned the importance of being able to adapt to what's thrown at us. Life is busy. It just continues to get busier, and we have to be able to be flexible and adapt to change if we want to grow. And I would say the other thing that has really helped me is I'm a visionary. I am a big dreamer. I'm a big visionary person, and I don't feel like I need to know the how. As long as I know what's out there and what I'm going for, everything falls into place. So I think that's something I really like to teach people as I'm coaching them to whatever it is you're wanting out of life in either your business, your personal world, whatever it is, being able to focus on that vision so that all the pieces will come into place. You'll do the work. You'll figure out what action steps you need to do in order to make it happen if you've got that vision. But sometimes we just need to dream a little bit bigger than what we're dreaming for ourselves right now. And I really spend a lot of time trying to help people grow their vision and dream bigger. And I've been able to do that.
Yeah, you're such a rock in your community and your network and your team. When you coach people, because I know you do, that's a big part of your success is just pouring into people. What is one of your, let's say maybe just whatever comes to your mind, what are some things that you find yourself coaching people on very consistently?
Belief is a big one. So many people have goals and dreams for themselves, but they don't believe they can accomplish them. So belief is a big one. So oftentimes I'm pouring belief into people until they see it for themselves. I'm pouring that belief into them. And that's huge. So I'm always working with people on getting their belief in themselves and achieving their goals up a notch. That's something that a lot of people need to work on. And another thing is that, I think a lot of people, they need a little more organization and a little more planning and preparation for things they're working on. So I'm able to quickly adapt to things and change, but I do like to be planned. So I do always have things planned out, prepared, organized, But then I always am ready if something changes, like having an event, like I might be having a training event or something like that. And I've got it all planned out and I'm ready to go. But say the technology doesn't work. I have to be able to adapt to whatever is coming. So I as much as I think being flexible and adaptable is important, I also think planning, preparation, and organization is super important too. So I really try to teach that. When you're planned and you're prepared for things, when it comes to whatever it is in your life. I mean, I teach a lot on health coaching, so it might be meal planning and prepping and being organized with your knowing what your schedule is, what your family schedule is, and working around that, having your meals planned throughout the week, having snacks, healthy snacks readily available for you, being planned and prepared for that, and then being ready to handle the fact that you might not have a great day and you might slip up, and how can you adapt to that? So I'd say, organization, planning, preparing is important, but then being flexible, adaptable. And then coaching on belief is just a big one. I really try to get people to understand if they don't believe in themselves, it's hard for others to believe in them. So it really has to start with them. And self-love and self-belief and self-care is so, so important.
Mm-hmm. All great reminders for people and anyone listening right now. Take what you need. I always say, when you're listening to something, clearly you've been drawn to it for a reason. Take what you need. And then beyond that, apply it. That's the most important step to growing, is to doing something consistently every single day. So when it comes to holding people accountable, do you have any tips for that? Not only just holding yourself accountable to something, but also realizing you have a whole group of people that are committed to their visions and making changes in their health and their personal life. So what do you do with that?
What I really try to do, I love our growth program. So for me, the daily accountability of checking in and being in a program, I like being in a program at all times, because when I'm in a program every day, it's that habit of logging in and journaling and, teaching people to be grateful every single day and writing down what they're grateful for. And habits are so, so crucial to success. And so I think being accountable, really trying to help people break bad habits, take on new habits, and hold themselves accountable to themselves. And sometimes in the beginning, you might need an accountability partner. I always tell people, if you feel like, for me, working out, it's my identity. I don't miss a day. Very rarely do I miss a day. And if I do, it's because my body is telling me I need a day off. So I'll take a day off for myself. But in the beginning, when it wasn't my identity, I had to have accountability partners, because if I was meeting a couple friends to run, I would show up for them. I might disappoint myself and not put my running shoes on, but if I had people waiting on me, I was not going to disappoint them. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same thing when it comes to your health. It's the same thing when it comes to your business. Find people to hold you accountable. If you feel like you're not strong enough yet to do it yourself and to hold yourself accountable, then find a group, find a little tribe of people that will help you hold you accountable and really create those habits until it becomes your identity. And so for me, the health side of things, my identity is I don't miss a day working out, period. My food and my nutrition is great, but my mental personal growth and development, that has to be spot on too. So I feel like when I'm not every day listening to podcasts, I love your podcast. You do a phenomenal job interviewing people. I listen to yours, but I listen to so many other podcasts as well. So every single day I'm putting really good stuff in here. So when life does beat us down, and it does, when things happen that maybe aren't so fair, maybe we have sickness or illness in our family and, things happening that are out of our control. What we do have control over is what we put in here. And so creating great habits around what we allow in here just is so powerful. So for me, every day is a growth day for me. There's not a day I miss out on putting good stuff in.
That's awesome. Love it. Yeah. What you put in your body is one thing. What you put in your heart and mind, it's still a choice. Mm-hmm. What you accept, right? There's always things flowing in and out that you may not even be aware of. When you are conscious of it and you have a choice, it's still like nourishment.
Right.
Yeah, this is so good. So many good tips and little nuggets. Last question, and we'll wrap this up. When you think about 2019, we're still early in, and no matter when you're listening to this, there's something special about the beginning of a year. And this is February, so it's still kind of new enough. And it's so funny how people January can be very exhilarating for people. It's like a permission slip to do something different. Right. What's interesting is once February comes along, it's a whole nother experience. And it could be very much that people are feeling the deception or the resistance phase of all the changes that they wanted to make in January. When you think about your year and you think about where you're headed and how you want to do things even different this year, what do you see for yourself? What is that thing compelling you?
Oh, you are so good at these questions. I would say, I'm a big John Maxwell fan, and he talks all the time about adding value to people's lives. And I think this is a concept we really follow in the Growth U community. And I just want to take that up, a really big step it up with adding value to people's lives in a big, big way and teaching people to pay that forward. So for me personally, I plan on doing more in my community to add more value to people's lives, believe in people, help them step into what God has for them. I feel like that's kind of my mission. I want people to really step into greatness and really find the level of success that they're seeking in every area of their life. I'm not just passionate about health. I'm very passionate about their mindset. I'm passionate about people in general, and I feel a calling for me to help as many people as I possibly can. And I feel I've been given a beautiful platform to be able to do that. And I want to be so aware of it that I don't take it for granted for one day. And that, when my time is done, I've just added so much value to people that's what I'm remembered for. And I want to teach other people to do that. So for me, it's stepping it up this year and doing more, whether it be speaking, training. My bucket list thing someday, I want to write a book. I want to share my story. I want to be someone that can really impact people. And I guess that's it in a nutshell. Just be of more value to people.
Well, you're definitely doing that right now. Being on our podcast, thank you so much. I know people are going to want to follow you and keep tabs on you. Where can they find you?
Well, I'm everywhere. My name is spelled a little differently. So it's Cyndi Walter, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but I have a website and it's cindywalter.com. And there I have all of the services I provide, all of the growth and mindset programs that we have to offer, my health and nutrition experience where people can sign up for free 15-minute consultations with me as well. So that's probably the best place to go. But I just thank you for the honor of being here. And you just do such a beautiful job drawing out things to really, help your audience. And I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Thank you. It was such a treat. I really appreciated just the fact that, you're just an example of someone who consistently shows up and does the work and literally 100% takes responsibility for what you're putting out. And it's not like you're this overnight success. You're just very, very consistent and disciplined. And I don't think there's a shortcut. And you embody that. You embody that consistency. Like I said earlier, like this rock. People just know that when they call you or they think of you, that, you're doing your part. And I think you're inspiring people probably more than you'll ever know, just because you uphold your own growth standard, So I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. I adore you.
It's very mutual. Thank you for being on the show today. And thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back, of course, with more great guests and podcast shows. So stay tuned and make sure you're following us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for catching this episode of the Growth Life Podcast. Join us at growth-u.com. That's growth-u.com.